I'm Ryan Bertrand. You're watching The Ugly Inside.
Welcome back to our end of season reviews. We work our way through the midfielders now and on to a new signing this summer from Norwich City for £10 million, Nathan Redmond, with Ewan, Chris from St Martin and Tony from the original Fanzine. We'll start with Ewan. Nathan Redmond, his best return of goals this season in a Premier League year.
Yeah, he always seemed to score against us when he played for Birmingham and Norwich, but he's gone from strength to strength, really. He's scoring more goals against Liverpool. He was fantastic in the first leg, and he's really adding more to his game. People forget he's only 23. He's the same age as Jack Stevens, which is crazy when you think about it. When he's played so many games since he was 18, he's now in the England squad. So him and James Ward-Prowse together, both have really pushed on this year. And he's going to be one of the first names on the team sheet and a really key player for the next few years.
Huge potential, Nathan Redmond. Big player for Norwich when they were in the Premier League. And 8 goals in all competitions, 7 in the Premier League. And as Ewan said, an amazing goal against Liverpool in the semi-final.
I was surprised when we first signed him, I must admit. But I think unlike Tadic, QL has obviously seen something in Nathan Redmond right from the get-go. And has obviously put his faith in him. And said, just go out there and play football, enjoy your football, and that's the end result. So yes, I am very pleasantly surprised, and like you boys say, I think he will be a very key player for us going forward.
And as I say, lots of potential, and he's gone a bit of an inconsistent run sometimes in the season. A great few months at the very beginning, scoring goals against Watford, and then it kind of went off a bit around Christmas time, and then he's come back after Christmas. Helping us push up the table a bit more.
Yeah, I think he's matured this season. I think he's been a little bit inconsistent, but I think his decision making, you could argue, has maybe been a little bit better. I think when he was at Norwich, I think you could potentially compare his style of play at Norwich to what we've seen from Buffal this season in terms of maybe taking a shot when he didn't need it, maybe run past one too many men when there was a good pass on. I think this season he's still young, and I don't think he's ever been a real goal-scoring winger, so I think as inconsistent as it's come, potentially, I think you can't criticise 7 league goals. I think without that, we might have only had 32, 33 league goals all season, which is, Middlesbrough got relegated at 28 or whatever. So I think you can't underestimate his influence. I think he's been a really key figure, as displayed by the fact that you mentioned he's in the England squad now. I just think to take his game to the next level, to maybe become the kind of player that maybe someone like Ashley Young was at that age, he needs to score consistently and assist consistently.
And we've got a comment now coming in from Dan, who sent us comments for Nathan Redmond.
So the price was good, but we just didn't know how many goals would he score and assist in the season after I believe he scored 6 times for Norwich and maybe 1 or 2 assists. However, this season he has scored 8 goals in all competitions for Southampton, with 7 in the Premier League and 1 in the League Cup. But I think he's only got 1 or 2 assists, meaning that he's been involved in about 9 or 10 goals, which is probably reasonable for the price that we paid for the first season. But next season he will need to prove to himself that he can be a man who can sort of be involved with, I think 15 goals for him next season, whether it's goals or assists, is a realistic ambition. Because he will need that if he wants to go to the World Cup. Remember, he made his England debut earlier this season, and next summer even, will be the World Cup, and he will want to be on that plane going to Russia.
So Dan goes on there with the potential to score more goals next season, and also perhaps needs to push on even further, up his game, add a bit more things to his game to get on that plane to Russia.
Again, for me, just like Buffal and Tadic, last third of the field players. I think Claude Puel sits the team far too deep, far too structured for these players. Doesn't give them a licence to do what they're capable of doing, basically, and therefore I think that's what's holding them back. I think he would like to do that. I think he would like to run off the shoulder more and in the channels, and certainly if he did that, he would be in a position to have more goal-scoring opportunities and more assists. I think if you got another manager who's a bit more forward-thinking, then I think you would get even more out of Nathan Redmond.
And Dan mentions there that it's £10 million, peanuts is really what it is in the Premier League, contributing up to about 10 or 9 goals this season. He needs what Dan asks him. He needs to be involved in even more next season.
Yeah, I think he's at the age where it's difficult because he's 23, which is young, but you don't consider him a real, like a Rashford-aged young talent. Once he turns 24, 25, you're thinking about, is he going to start to come into the best form of his life, or the best ability that he'll ever have? So I think I agree that next season, if he's to be directly involved in 15 goals, let's say 6 assists, 9 goals, that would be a really solid return for him. I think this season he's set himself up to do it. I think, as we've touched upon, he was maybe playing in a too rigid a formation to express what he can. So to return for 7 league goals or whatever it has been, I think it's been really good, especially for the price tag. I mean, a player who's got a similar amount of goals, Wilfred Zaha at Crystal Palace. Try not to believe transfer rumours too much, but he's been valued at 20 to 25 million for what he's got. You could argue that him and Redmond have had similar influences, so I think the fact that we signed for 10 million, I think it's a very underrated bargain in today's transfer market.
Okay, we've got a comment coming in from Jake from St Mary's Musings now then.
I think Nathan Redmond's been a positive signing. He's not as consistent as we'd like, but I think the raw talent's all there. His end product definitely needs to improve. His shooting's not the best, and decision making sometimes not there, but he's actually getting in the right positions, and it does remind me of Mane's first few months at the club, where he was very positive in his play. He's the kind of winger that we haven't really had a lot of time with other than Mane, so I think Redmond's definitely a positive move. But he's certainly not Mane at this stage anyway.
Jake talks about his positivity and getting himself into great positions this season.
Yeah. I think under a manager like, if we'd signed Redmond a year earlier, I think he would have hit those heights of 10, 12 goals, because he'd have been in a much more attacking team than we've seen this season. He'd have been able to play more on the wing, where I think he's naturally better placed than he started the season up front, which maybe didn't work as well as Claude would have liked, but he can finish. 7 goals is a good return, and definitely he's definitely going to push on next season. As I said, be a really key player, and there's no more incentive than the World Cup. You can give him as much money as you want, but to make sure he's on that plane to Russia, he needs to make sure he's performing week in, week out.
Yeah, and for me, the problem that he's had this season as well, in the fact that he's played in this striker position in the very first few months of the season, Crockwell dubbed him as the next Thierry Henry. I don't think any of us believed that for one moment.
I don't think Nathan Redmond did either, to be honest with you. I think he just came to Southampton. He clearly loves the club. He enjoys playing football, and it wouldn't surprise me, unfortunately, if he is the subject of bids from other clubs in the summer. It's very interesting. I think that the Sky pundits, amongst others, they raised him extremely highly and did right from the very start of the season, although I didn't actually see that. So I've been proven wrong in that respect. So again, another one that I would be looking to renegotiate his contract in the summer, make another statement. You are important to us going forward. Do you want to be with us? Because we want you to be here. You're the backbone of everything we do.
Yeah, for me, much improved season as well, and he's had a lot of critics, let's be fair. Well, let's summarise Nathan Redmond's season. Let's start with you, Chris.
I think it's been a good stepping stone. I think, playing for a relegated team, to then go and play for a team in the top half. It's a completely different setup. You're not. I mean, you could argue that Puel is trying to grind out single points, but he's playing for a better team now, and he's been able to step up. What he needs to do is be able to step up again. I think if we were to get maybe 5 or 6 goals from him next season, in a year's time, we could be giving him the same kind of scorning review as we did Tadic. But based on this season, I think you can't overrate his influence when we lost the goals of Charlie Austin with Long, Rodriguez not really finding the back of the net. Maybe it's not been consistent, but Redmond has found his goals. So I think I'll give him an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Same again, 8 out of 10. He's got natural pace, he's got natural ability. He's learning more and more how to finish, how to score goals. really, he's one of the best in the league at cutting inside and hitting that far corner, especially the bottom corners. And I can only see him getting better, and I really hope he goes on, keeps on, improves, and makes more and more appearances in the England squad. 8 out of 10.
So very grounded, level-headed individual. I would give him 9 out of 10.
Very highly rated there. Do you know what? I'm going to go as far as a 7 out of 10. I think if he carried on his consistency in scoring goals and providing the assists throughout the entire campaign, it could be as far as a 9, but I'm going to go with a 7. Well, that's us then for Nathan Redmond's player review at the end of this season. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Leave us your likes, leave us your reviews, and subscribe for more.